Hey everyone, this is Nate. It's been a really long time since I've done any kind of day hiking video. Kind of basically just didn't really like the amount of effort I had to put into editing them. So I'm trying something a little different here. I'm trying to do just a casual video. What I'm doing today, the goal today is to climb up South Baldy Peak in the Magdalena Mountains. I chose South Baldy because this area has gotten pretty little snow. Cattle guard, hold on. I chose South Baldy because this area has gotten relatively little snow, and unfortunately, overnight a storm system came in, dumped a few inches, more than a few inches up where I live in Santa Fe. But when I checked the weather, it said 0% chance of snow in this area. Well, I think they kind of got that wrong. And all I have on is trail runners, double up with socks, they're wool socks. So now's the chance where you can go to the comment section and call me an idiot, say I'm gonna freeze my toes off. But I'll tell you, unless something really interesting happens on this trip, I'm not gonna publish this video if I don't make it to South Baldy. So you can make fun of me all you want. I must have made it if you're watching this. Hiking out of the Water Canyon trailhead. It's kind of a campground picnic area. Snow is actually not very slippery. It's really not all that cold here, actually. I'd guess it's upper 20s, low 30s. It's really not too bad. There's not much ice, just the snow. So the traction's pretty good. I do have micro spikes. Traction gets a little hairy, though I did forget my trekking poles at the car. So, yeah, it's extremely beautiful, though. I really love the snowy scene. And like I said, it's really not too slippery, and the snow's not even that deep. My feet don't feel cold at all. It's actually pretty nice so far. This is where the road pretty much ends, and it kind of turns into a trail. You see Josiah was here back in May. Forge ahead. We're officially on the Copper Trail number 10 now. Pretty sure that's North Baldy out in the distance. Name of this canyon, Copper Canyon, would imply this area has sort of a mining history. I don't know how much of that has been actualized versus, you know, there's some private property in these mountains that I think are just held on to in case mining ever does become profitable here. I've actually been looking into planning a backpacking trip in this area for some time. The fact is, there's just not a lot of good access points in this mountainous area. There's a lot of private land and not a lot of water. So you kind of end up with this thing where if you're looking at the map, trying to, you know, pick a spring, you know, pick a route that brings you by springs at least once a day. And also this range is very rugged, lots of high gradients. You know, it quickly becomes, at the very least, you'd be doing a pretty good workout if you were to backpack in this area, I think. So it's kind of made for day hikes, which is why I'm here. We're a little under 3,000 vertical feet, probably like 2,700 from the summit, South Baldy. South Baldy is not that tall by New Mexico standards, only like 10,700 feet. But in terms of prominence, it's actually really high in the list. Number 6, I think. If you don't really know what prominence is, look it up. It's pretty much just how tall a mountain is compared to its surroundings. So my goal for 2022 is actually to hike every P2K peak, so prominence 2,000 feet or higher, in New Mexico. That's north of I-40. I think we only got 6 left because I've already done a lot of them. Mount Taylor, Placer Mountain near Santa Fe, Truchas Peak, which is kind of a bucket list one for me. Little Costilla Peak, that's going to be a cool one. San Antonio Mountain, and the one that I'm least looking forward to, just because it's a long hike, and I'm not sure if there's really many views from the top, unless you start trespassing into Boy Scout property. Mount Phillips on the border of the Philmont Scout Ranch. So those are all the ones I have left north of I-40. Okay, well, we reached the intersection with, this is like the Crest Spur trail or something. And we're heading this way. Seems to be getting a little sunnier, which is pretty nice. And the birds are alive up here. You can hear like a woodpecker going at it. I think they heard me talking and decided to stop. But we're about 1,000 vertical feet closer than we were when I last talked to you, and the trail's gotten a lot steeper. But it's not the worst thing. We're only like a half-mile crow's flight from the crest right now, so making good time. Okay, I have made it to the intersection with the Crest Trail. I actually made it here like 10 minutes ago, but I stopped to eat some lunch. I was pretty hungry. Oh, it's warmer up here, but it's also colder because it's windy. It's warmer because it's sunny, but colder because it's windy. And I sat down to eat lunch and my knee just started killing me. I think all the hard hiking to get up here. I mean, I started down there in like this canyon, in Water Canyon, the Water Canyon campground. And so that was a tough hike. I mean, it's actually not been that long. I thought it was going to be much longer. It's only been about 5.2 miles. I think I'm going to go to South Baldy and then just go back the way I came because I'm pretty sore. The observatory is in sight, or at least a communications tower associated with the observatory. Ugh, it's cold. And then way out there, you can't really see it. Even if I zoomed in, you probably couldn't see it, is the VLA, the VLA, Very Large Array. It's where they look for aliens, I mean. All right, keep going. Probably just gonna cut up South Baldy now. I'm not sure exactly what this trail does. I think it just kind of goes around the base, so I'm just going to cut up now. All right, here we are. We've made it to the top. I have to admit, the summit scenery, like the actual summit, is not very pretty. There's a lot of equipment up here. So this is home to some observatory, which you can see in the background right there. And one of the things they do up here is a lot of lightning studies and lightning monitoring. It's apparently one of the most lightning-stricken places in New Mexico, which makes me very glad that it's a clear day. There's no trail, there's no summit register that I can see. I'm assuming that's because if you put it on the summit, it would quickly get fried by lightning. But I'll look around, see if maybe it's hiding somewhere. It's a pretty awesome view. You know, I've been talking a lot about P2Ks, 2,000-foot prominence peaks, and I think you can see a bunch of them up here. The thing is, they're really concentrated in southern New Mexico because the mountains are much more isolated in southern New Mexico than in northern New Mexico. Obviously, northern New Mexico, you have like the Rocky Mountain chain, so you have a lot of tall mountains, but they're all connected with pretty high up shoulders. So I'll give you a little tour of what we can see from here. Out a little bit, that is Mount Taylor, or as this is known in Navajo. Forgive me if you're Navajo and you hear this, but over this way, you see a few peaks that I think maybe that tall one in the center might be Allegra's Mountain. I'm not totally sure about that. It looks pretty darn tall, but it could just be the perspective messing with me. Allegra's Mountain is like a very strange mountain, 10,000 feet or so, but it's 2,000 feet prominence. I believe that in front of us is Mount Withington, which is on the list, and then way behind it, I'm not even sure if it comes out to the camera, is a snow-capped peak. It's probably somewhere in the Gila, because I think the Gila's actually gotten a lot of snow this year. We see over there, it's the Apache Kid Wilderness, and that tallest peak is on the list too. name is escaping me right now. You can see maybe Elephant Butte Lake out there. It's, you definitely can't see it on camera, but I think I can see the Oregon's way out there. As we swipe to the left, it's a little hard to see stuff out here because it's a pretty clear day, but you know, you start getting out there, you get all the dust being blown up. Sierra Blanca, right there behind the peak in the foreground there. It's the most prominent peak in New Mexico. Moving left. So that whole range, not in the foreground, the one right in front of me, but like right behind it. It's all like, those are, a lot of those mountains are on the list. They don't look very tall because they're all in the 8,000 foot range or so, but they're all in the White Sands Missile Range. So, you know, this P2K challenge or whatever, pretty much can't do like 5 or 6 of the peaks because I know 5 of them are on White Sands Missile Range property. You can see the road that kind of comes up in the middle, comes up to the top. There are tire treads on it. Somebody's driven up here lately. And now we look this way towards the Rio Grande Valley. You can see right there, middle in the back, Manzano Peak. That's on the list, the P2K list. I climbed that last February. It's a pretty awesome mountain. See the Sandia Crest there in the center. You know, when I was climbing up, I could see, well, I can actually make it out. I can make out Santa Fe Baldy in the way back, but there's no, you probably can't see that on camera. And Santa Fe Baldy is actually, like, it just barely makes the list, sort of. Its optimistic prominence is exactly 2,000 feet, so you can see in the foreground there is North Baldy, which I have definitely not going to do. I'm worn out. And then we see Ladrone Peak, which I summited last March. That's a really hard peak, but it's also on the list. It's about 9,200 feet. So really cool. You can just see so much from up here. It's an amazing mountain. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to take the same way back because I'm not going to go hit North Baldy. I'm really worn out. This mountain is showing me just how out of shape and deacclimated I am. I haven't really spent much time above 7,200 feet since like November, and I certainly haven't done a hike approaching 10 miles in a long time. So this is probably going to be 12 miles or more when all is said and done. But yeah, so thanks for joining me. Hopefully this more casual format didn't just come across as rambling, and I hope you enjoyed the awesome New Mexico scenery.